21st Annual Big Sky Documentary Film Festival opens up tonight at the Wilma at 7 p.m. with 399, Queen of the Tetons. We're lucky enough to have the director of the film, Elizabeth Leiter, join us. Let's take a look at some fake e-commerce sites and social media ads. As online shopping grows, fake e-commerce sites have become more sophisticated. In 2024, scammers are leveraging social media ads to attract consumers to well-built designs and websites that often have deals that are too good to be true, like this 4-person hot tub. So come with me as we go inside, get a little warmer, talk to the president of Neptune Aviation to talk about this year-round organization, and we're going to have some fun on the flight simulator because we're going to see how those pilots train to protect not just Montana, but everyone across the United States. Multiple officers were involved that day. The first officer that engaged with Fussner was shot. The body cam footage that you're watching right now is from the officer number 2, who engaged in firefight with Fussner. Very shortly after that gunfire, officer number 3, who was positioned on the east side of the building, fired and hit Fussner. Officer number 4 was able to move from a location and remove the semi-automatic rifle from Fussner where he was laying.
Yes, a whole lot of fun today. A whole lot of fun. I got to tell you, it's a race to 270. We all know that. And the map behind me, you can kind of see a scatter of red and a scatter of blue. There you go. And the score right now, as far as the AP has called it, it's 214. Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, 179 to Vice President Kamala Harris.
I asked if I got a question for you. You've watched the Bobcats, the football team specifically, for a few years now. What makes this team different from any other team that you've seen in the past?
Jeannie Finley retrospective. One of the top documentarians, not just in the UK, but across the world, even here in the US. We've seen it here at the Big Sky Documentary Film Festival.
This town has football on their mind. We're joined with the boys. Sean Rainey, Austin Pa is here with us in Bozeman. And Sean, you would be a good guy to talk about because as we walked through last night and this morning, this town feels football. It feels like football, and it feels like they're ready to go.
And if we move here, look at that. My best Elena Margot, Mark Haka impression right there. East doing okay, but that central, south central part is certainly what we're taking a look at. I want to get out to Ian Alvano, who is live at the Wilma this evening. Ian, it looks like you have an entourage with you this evening. Hit us with some closing night magic.
Well, touchdown, Tommy Millot, named the Walter Payton Award winner last night. And as you just saw, that award was something the entire team celebrated. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Colton Little. Our Bobcat Blitz coverage picking up as we move within 24 hours of kickoff in Frisco, Texas, between Montana State Bobcats and the North Dakota State Bison.
All right, it was Brawl the Wild Part 2 on the hardwood, this time in Bozeman. Both the men's and the women's games are officially in the books. That's where we find our Austin Parr. There he is in Bozeman. Austin, the Bobcat women keeping their Big Sky win streak alive. I think they go to 15-0 now in Big Sky Conference games. But then the men come up short for the Bobcats. What was the difference maker? First, let's talk about that women's game. And then what was the difference maker in that nightcap?
7 others were also killed in that crash, which federal investigators determined was caused by pilot disorientation due to foggy conditions. So tomorrow, to pay your respects, wear your number 8 or 24 jersey. And of course, if you are going to do it, the Kobe thing, you better make that shot, because he would. Thank you very much to the team in the back. Elena Margot, Colton Little. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
What's this film all about?
Great question. I'm still learning because 399 is just this epic and most beautiful mama grizzly bear that has really captured a lot of people's hearts and attention. She is your neighbor here. She lives in the Tetons, so a little bit south here of Missoula. It came about through another film that I was working on called Jane Goodall the Hope, and I met Tom Mangelson, who's a wildlife photographer and conservationist. And if you talk to Tom for longer than 5 minutes, you're going to hear about 399. He's been documenting her since he first saw her. in 2007. So self-described obsession of his, and he's just so passionate about her. And as I started to do a little bit of research into her and like how does an individual bear become a celebrity, it really just started unfolding in all these amazing ways. And as we all know here in the greater Yellowstone, and especially in Montana where you have two most epic national parks and you have a big grizzly population, and they've seen this incredible recovery, but you guys know what it means to try to live on the same landscape as these really amazing creatures, but everybody, both species require a lot of space.
What was your first impression when you saw 399 in person?
Well, the first time I saw 399 in person was when she was walking through downtown Jackson. So that was about as wild as it gets. And I really felt like I was on some sort of stakeout chase. And I was like, what is going on here? You know, the cops' lights are on, but there's no sirens. And it was just this really surreal moment. And so I was like, wow, there's something about her if she's able to navigate this whole human maze. So that was my first impression of her intelligence and her wiliness, maybe. And then seeing her in the park and by the roadside in Grand Teton National Park, I just was really touched by the emotional responses that people have to her and that people have to seeing a grizzly in the wild. And that there's this immense connection that is sort of like, it goes beyond whatever you could read in a book, right? It's so profound for so many people. And I think that is why there's this love around her and also this controversy of, you know, what grizzlies represent. But that beauty around her in the park, like seeing her in the Tetons, is unreal.
Switching gears now, the Big Sky Documentary Film Festival. What does that mean to you? Why did you put the movie into this festival?
Well, Big Sky Documentary Film Festival, its name precedes it. It's known all around the world as being an incredible, incredible home for films, documentary films, and filmmakers. I feel like they really celebrate the craft here and really include the community here. And it's accessible, it's warm, it's incredibly friendly. And everybody, I've never been before, and everybody told me it's the most fun festival. You're going to have an amazing time. Absolutely. And in terms of where to premiere, I mean, this was a no-brainer.
Wow. Amazing. Well, 399 Queen of the Tetons will be airing tonight at 7 p.m. at the Wilma. It is sold out, but you can stream it online from the 19th to the 24th. So in a few days, you'll be able to watch it online. Elizabeth, appreciate you joining us here today, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you so much.
Missoula is filled with beautiful mountains, babbling brooks, and a certain gusto that makes people want to come back. But in the bowels of Missoula, there is crap that lurks in the shadows. One man, a local hero, is trying to bring light to those dark, dark places. One man trying to make the difference in the fight against, well, poop.
Thank you for joining me. Who are you?
I am the butler.
And what do you do?
Well, I fight an injustice. In case you are not aware of it or your viewers are not aware of it, there's an injustice going on in this city of Missoula, and I'm fighting it. And it is people leaving their dog's poop all over the ground. It's among you, it's among me. We step in it, and I will not tolerate it anymore. I will not tolerate the crap that's being left in our city.
How did this mission start?
It's a good question. Have you ever seen the movie Batman?
Yes.
Okay. Batman and I are very similar. He saw his parents get shot in front of him and murdered. I stepped in dog poop, and I did not like it. Batman and I are basically on the same exact level. And I had that epiphany when I stepped in that dog poop. I lifted up my shoe and I saw it. I did not like the smell. I didn't like anything about it. And I knew something had to be done.
There's an epidemic with this dog poop. There's dog poop on the ground. There's dog poop in bags on the ground. There's dog poop in bags in non-trash cans. And you're taking care of it.
I am. I'm cleaning up the city because we live in a beautiful, beautiful place. And I think you should enjoy it. I should enjoy it. Everybody who walks a trail should be able to enjoy the trail without having to see a plastic bag on the ground, stepping in poop. I've picked up poop in an insane amount of places. We're talking on children's playgrounds, fields, baseball fields, football fields, you name it, where people walk, where kids play, and I will not stand for it any longer. I knew something had to be done.
The difference between you, Superman, Batman, is that you're actually proving that you're making a difference.
I am the pooper hero that this town needed, and I've documented everything that I picked up in the month of January meticulously as I possibly could, by location, where I found it, if it was bagged, if it was not bagged. I put how many bags I used. I have a dog myself, and I put what bags his poop was in, and I made sure that I documented every little thing to be as accurate as possible.
What's the next step for the butler?
Hopefully not in poop. My mission, I suppose, is to continue doing what I'm doing. I want to make hiking trails free of litter and smells, and bad smells, that is, and try to clean up what is not supposed to be there and make sure, I hope nobody recognizes me with that falling off there. And basically, just clean up our town and remain and keep its beauty the way it should be.
In this battle between the butler and dog poop, who's going to win?
I absolutely will win this battle. I will not rest until every person who owns a dog knows that it's their responsibility to pick up their dog's poop and to put bags and trash cans where they belong.
You're here to save Missoula.
I am here to save Missoula.
The butler, appreciate you joining us here today. An absolute pleasure to meet you. I wish you the best in your mission to clean up Missoula and every poop moving forward.
There is no poop left behind.
Primary elections will be opened up to any voter or candidate, regardless of party affiliation or lack thereof, to be on one single ballot. A free-for-all, if you will. The top 4 candidates at the end of the primary election, regardless of party, will move on to the general election. This initiative will only impact statewide and federal positions. Let's use the U.S. Senate race as an example. If 126 passes, this is what it will look like. For the primary elections, we could have 8 candidates on the ballot. Whoever the top 4 votes getters are, they would move on to the general election. We would live in a world where 4 Democrats move on, or 4 Republicans move on, or a different combination, including independents. If 4 or fewer candidates enter the primary, those candidates go directly to the general election, no matter what.
It relies on a system of collars placed on cattle, sheep, goats, whatever livestock you can think of. I think even horses are eligible for some of it. So those collars are placed on, they're GPS equipped, and they all emit some sort of sound with a minor shock or vibration, some sort of stimulation. And so as the cattle or whatever livestock approach whatever boundaries are set, that GPS is triggered, it emits a sound, and then it emits whatever that shock or stimulant is to try and keep cattle where they're supposed to be, keep them out of areas where they're not supposed to be, and keep them in where they are supposed to be. And there are a number of manufacturers of virtual fence technology. They all work a little bit different, but they all rely on collars and then some sort of base station placed on the landscape, on the ranch, to relay that information from the rancher's home computer or phone to the towers, to the collars. That's generally what the idea is.